Champions League football is dead. Champions League football is gone. It slipped through our fingers like we're ABBA. There's nothing to say. Guys, there's nothing to say. I turned the TV off after the 2-0. I physically couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't. I'm broken inside. I'm broken inside. Honestly, the main adjective to describe me right now is just forlorn. I'm forlorn. I'm sad. I'm sad. I'm sad because Champions League football is gone. We went from 3rd to 6th in a day. It's not possible, guys. It's not possible. How are we here? How are we here, Juventus? How are we here, guys? We were 3rd. It was in our hands. All we had to do was win our last 2 games against a Fiorentina team that haven't won here in 6 years. Against a Fiorentina team that have nothing to play for. Then the final day is against Torino, the derby. But come on, man. Come on. All we had to do was win. I knew Roma would win. I knew Como and Milan would win. That was obvious. We had to win and lead the pack again. Now we're 6th. Champions League is done. It's done. If you want me to read out the table to see like what the possibilities, we're 68 with Como. Doesn't matter. 5th and 6th for both Europa League. It changes absolutely nothing. Roma have 2 points ahead. Milan have 2 points ahead. So you're telling me, because Como have a better goal difference, we need Milan to lose. We need Roma to also lose on the final day. We need Como to at least draw or lose, and we need to win. We need all that to go our way to get Champions League. Come on, man. Forget it. Forget about it, guys. Forget about it. It's done. It's well and truly done. I think it's been thrown away. And I think today we didn't even turn up, in my opinion. There was a lack of desire on the pitch. I think the personnel was wrong. The system was wrong. We approached the game as if we had already secured Champions League. They wanted it more than us, Fiorentina. And I know they hate us. There's that rivalry. But they wanted it more than us. It was like they were playing for Champions League. And we were playing for nothing. That we had already secured Champions League football. And this game was just, a throwaway. And it's just depressing. It's depressing that we're in this situation. I don't really know. I don't know. I think this season is just a reflection season, to be honest, boys and girls. Before we talk about the game, I just want to say, I don't actually believe from the course of the season, can we really say we deserve the Champions League? Can we say that we deserve to qualify for the Champions League? Because I'm going to read out some of the fixtures, right? So, we drew and lost to Fiorentina. We drew to Verona. We drew to Milan. We drew to Sassuolo. We drew to Roma. So, 2 of the head-to-heads around us, we drew both. We lost to Como twice. We lost to Inter. All right, unfortunate fashion. They robbed us, whatever. We lost to Cagliari. We drew to Lecce. All right? We lost to Napoli. We drew to Fiorentina, already said. We drew against Torino in the derby. We drew against Milan. Again, we didn't beat Milan in either of the games. We didn't even score against them. We drew against Atalanta. We drew against Verona. We've thrown away so many points. So many points this season against lesser teams. And then the teams around us fighting for Champions League, Como, Roma, Milan, in 6 games, we won 1 against Roma at home. We drew to them away. We lost to Como twice. We drew to Milan twice. So I can't even sit here and say we deserve Champions League because I actually don't think we do over the course of the season. I think Europa League is where we're at. Now, it's frustrating because a club like Juventus should not be finishing outside the top 4. Never. But the thing is, there's no divine right to anything as a big club. There's no divine right that Juventus should be fighting for the Scudetto year in, year out. That's the statue of Juventus being the biggest club in the country. But we don't have that right year upon year. The talking is done on the pitch. And this season, the talking has been very quiet. There's been minimal talking. You understand? In today's game, we created next to nothing. Okay, we had a goal disallowed. Vlahovic was offside. The McKennie one as well. People saying, was it a foul? Was it not? He kind of pushes Gosens in the back. McKennie did not complain. Did you see McKennie didn't go to the ref? Was like, no, I didn't touch him. Like, was it soft? Yeah, but there's a push. Of course, the defender's going to go down. Do you know what I mean? We created next to nothing. All the shots on target were easy for De Gea. They have 2 shots on target. The first one on Di Gregorio's near post. Again, Di Gregorio has gotten done on his near post again, guys. This is the 10th time Di Gregorio's conceded from a first shot on target this season. I think, I'm not joking, yeah. I think he's costed like 15 points from goals on his near post this year. I don't understand. We dropped him after the Como game for Perin, who played well, and then we swapped them out again. It didn't really make sense to me. Perin should have been the keeper until the end of the season, after the Como game. which Spalletti then changed, and I gave him props for that because that took a lot of courage and personality to drop your main keeper for Perin to give Perin a chance because the performances weren't at where they should be. And we went back to the main keeper and the mistakes have creeped back into his game. I look at the system. Why are we playing Kenan on the left? Why? He's not fully fit. You have to play Yildiz in the 10 so he does less running, and you have Jeremy Boga also on the pitch, who's a threat, who's played well since coming in January, who's made the difference, had an impact. You have to play Yildiz as a 10 because he's doing too much defensive work, and physically he's not at the level he was at the start of the season with that knee problem he has. So that's another mistake for me. You can't, the midfield, the gap between the defence and the midfield today was way too big. It was way too big. Locatelli, Koopmeiners, McKennie, that cannot be the midfield three. You have to play a double pivot of Locatelli and Thuram. You have to. I don't care if Thuram's not fully fit. Thuram has to play. If Thuram isn't fully fit, then don't call him up. But he is on the bench, so he plays. That's my rule. If you're fit enough to be on the bench, you're fit enough to play. That midfield three was getting run all over, boys. There was way too much space between the defence and the midfield. We were suffering a lot. The goal came from the gap in the midfield, from a transition. We were suffering a lot. Today, we didn't deserve anything from today's game. We didn't. That's the reality. We didn't deserve anything. And we're in a situation now, boys and girls, where we're going to finish Europa League. And I'll be honest with you, I'd rather play no European football than play Europa League. Because to me, a Europa League trophy, it means very little. UEFA Cup meant more. Europa League means I don't care. I'll be honest. I'd rather just focus on the league next season. We need to do a lot of rebuilding this summer. We need to get the market spot on. The market needs to be spot on from Juventus. This is the biggest transfer window we've had in forever. This is the most important transfer window we've ever had. Because this is the first season where we're finishing outside the Champions League. Now, I know you're going to bring up that season 22-23 when we didn't finish in Europe. Well, that was because of the point deduction. We would have finished Champions League that season. We would have. They deducted, 15 points, 10 points, whatever it was. This year, we didn't. We on the pitch, we finished outside of top four. And I know there's still a game left. But we need Roma to lose, Milan to lose, and Como to either draw or lose, and us to win. We need all of that to happen for us to get Champions League. Or at least one of Roma and Milan, one of them to lose plus Como. So it's unlikely. Do you know what I mean? So I'm already accepting the fact that we've got Europa League football. I'm at a stage where it's like I'd rather just focus on the league, guys. I'll be honest with you. Like Napoli did when in Conte's first season. For me, Europa League, it's Mickey Mouse. It's Mickey Mouse. It doesn't change anything for me. Not getting Champions League football is detrimental. It's detrimental financially. We're missing out on a lot of money. Attracting players. You struggle to attract players without Champions League football. Bernardo Silva on a free. That's done now. We're not attracting Bernardo Silva anymore. He'll go Barca or Galatasaray even. We can't do that. Now we have to try and keep hold of our players. I was reading that Thuram might have to go if we don't get Champions League football. Hey, now what? It's rough. It's a very rough situation right now. It's very rough. We have to get this market spot on. I'll do a whole in-depth video on who we need to sign, in my opinion, who we need to bring in. But today, for me, I wasn't surprised. Guys, everyone has been telling me, all my friends, Napoli, Roma friends, they were telling me we're going to get top four. I wasn't sure. Going into these last two games, I saw Fiorentina, who we have an awful record against, who hate us. They have nothing to play for. I knew they'd be up for it. And Torino, the derby on the final day, which is always tricky. I knew we had the harder fixtures compared to Como, Roma and Milan. I was not confident. And then as soon as the game kicks off, the first 5-10 minutes, I can't really explain it. I had a vibe. I don't know what it was. It's weird. And I'm not blaming anything, but I just felt like we weren't going to win today. They were the better team. They came out fine. I was like, best we'll get is a draw, I reckon. But I wasn't confident whatsoever. And now we're in a predicament where Champions League is gone. It's slipped through our fingers. It really has. And we have to look at ourselves in the mirror. Because there's no other team. There's nothing we can blame. We could talk about refereeing decisions all we want. Should we have had a penalty in this game or this decision went against us? I'm not about that, guys. I'm not about this whole referee. No, I'm not about that. I'm straight on. And for me, based on this season, we didn't deserve Champions League football. I'll be honest. As depressing as it is and as sad as it sounds, I don't think we did. I don't think we did. We've not been at the level. We've not been at the level to deserve top 4. And today, and if we had finished in the top 4, it would have papered over a lot of cracks. And today kind of just epitomizes it, man. Really, really, really big shame. It's a big shame, and there's nothing I can say. Now I just wanna switch off from football. I just wanna look into the World Cup. I just want the season to end. Let me know in the comments what you thought about the game. Like the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're so close to 50k, and I'm out.